evening, THL, and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Fight. Let's get ready to rumble. Event. I'm in position here with Sazuru to bring to you a Battle of the Heavyweights. In the left corner, we have Bloodhunter ringing in at 4-0. In the right corner, we have Schlitz also coming in at 4-0. The winner tonight takes the 1 seed. Sazuru, how you doing tonight?
Y'all ready for this?
Awesome. Welcome aboard, and it's good to have you with us tonight. I know everybody's kind of excited about this match. We've been waiting to see these guys for quite some time. If you could start tagging them in the background there, tell them to get queued up and ready to go. We'll head over and take a look at the match lineup, see what these guys are bringing tonight. First up, why don't we look at Bloodhunter's decks? I have those up on the screen for our viewers. He's bringing Token Druid, Big Spell Mage, Shudder Shaman, and Zoo Warlock. In some respects, this is a best decks lineup, but he kind of mixed it up a little bit. The Big Spell Mage coupled with the Token Druid is not a lineup I think I've seen that often. With the Shudderwock Shaman and the Zoo Warlock. Any comments on this lineup just looking at it? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out. Maybe it's almost like a do good against Druid lineup or something like that. I notice he has the Skulking Geist in the Big Spell Mage, and the Big Spell Mage can often do good against some of these Taunt Druid and those kind of things. So maybe something like that. Maybe just an all-around thing, though. All right, let's... Yeah, could be. I'm not showing a sound register for some reason. Let me check the sounds here real quick, and I apologize to the viewers. For some reason, when you talk, the desktop audio isn't bouncing. Here we go. I think I found the problem. Say something now.
Okay, is it picking me up?
Okay, yep, it sure is. They're hearing you now for the first time. I'm sorry about that.
Great.
So how you doing tonight? Let's start over with you. And first of all, I'm gonna head back to the talking head screen here and introduce you. This is your first time casting, right?
It is.
Okay, good. Well, welcome aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen,
with THL?
Welcome to the main event.
For the most recent season, I guess it's season 9.
Mm-hmm.
I played in the Ragnaros League, and I also played in the alpha of the Mysterious Challenger League. So I'm pretty new here.
All right. Are you doing Mysterious Challenger this season as well?
I haven't yet. I might hop in for a week at some point, but I'm gonna be doing the Rag, and I'm picking up the Sylvanas League this time too. So I'm just kind of slowly adding stuff. I'm here doing this because I thought it'd be interesting.
Yeah, and it definitely is. And for our viewers that haven't been involved in MCL, this is a league where each week, if you choose to play that week, and you don't even have to play every week, you start off and you enter your deck codes. And then you're matched up with another opponent who has the same or similar record as you. And then you get to see their deck codes. So it's open deck list. You find that out on Monday, and you schedule a time to play it sometime in the week. So it's kind of unique as compared to the Ragnaros League or the Sylvanas League, where you pick your classes, but you don't know what your opponent's playing until you start playing them and you see it's closed deck list. So it's unique in that regards, and it's also unique in the fact that you're not on a team. It's just, kind of you against the world kind of thing. No pressure from your teammates to try to win. And if you want, you can bring more creative lineups because of that. You're kind of more free in that regard. So I think it's a lot of fun, this league right here.
I definitely had a lot of fun with the alpha, and
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see what the players think if some of the stuff that they brought was because they just wanted to do their own thing. But looking through it, it seems like we have a pretty competitive match for tonight.
Yeah, these are two of the tryhards. Like we showed at the beginning, they're both 4-0. They both know what they're doing when it comes to building lineups to win. But I mean, at least like looking at these lineups, they're still a little bit creative. Let's take a look at Schlimps's now here. Schlimpch. He's running the Cube Hunter. Some people might call this a Death Rattle or Katharina Hunter. The lines are kind of blurred. I think this might be more on what they call the cube side of things. You got the Big Mage, the Control Priest, and a Miracle Rogue. What are your thoughts on Schlimps's decks?
It seems like he's trying to bring like a control killer lineup. I don't know exactly what the big spell mage is doing in there, but I guess if you get Jaina early, it can kind of work. The rest of them, though, seem like they're pretty well situated to beat late game combo and control decks.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be targeting the late game decks. Unfortunately for him, it's not exactly what Blood Hunter brought, as you saw before. Let's switch over to the matchup chart. And if you can pull that up, I'm going to talk the viewers through it. And what you see here are, from Schlimps's perspective on the top, 2 tables, Blood Hunter's perspective on the bottom 2 tables. And so, do you see in the top left where it says Schlimpsch?
Yeah.
Okay. And he has Cube Hunter, Big Spell Mage, Control Priest, Miracle Rogue. So the numbers in that table are from Vicious Syndicate in that first table on the left. So you can see a lot of red, right? And if you look at Blood Hunter's table down there with Token Druid, Big Spell Mage, Shadowwalk Shaman, and Zoo Warlock, that left table on the bottom, you see green, right? So you're starting to get the picture here when you look at these matchup charts. Now, the 2 tables on the right they show what would happen depending on the bands. So if you go all the way up to the top right, where it says Zoo Warlock and there's a 38.6%?
38, yeah, against the Hunter.
Yeah. So that means that if Schlimp's bans Zoo Warlock and Blood Hunter bans Schlimp's Cube Hunter, then Schlimp's would have an overall percentage of 38.6 to win the match as a whole. And I've built a model in a spreadsheet in the background to kind of look at all the combinations of which deck they start with and how the thing could play out, right? So looking at that, you can see Schlimps's table in the top right. Again, a lot of red. His best bet, if you look down there, the 3 rows, I mean, his worst row shows about a 42% across the board. If he bans the Token Druid, it gives him the best chance, right? So if he bans Token Druid and Blood Hunter bans, let's say, Miracle Rogue, he's got a 51.4% chance to win. Now, Blood Hunter is not going to do that, most likely. If you look at Blood Hunter's table in the bottom right, his best chances will be if he bans the Cube Hunter. And the best Schlimp's can do is give Blood Hunter a 57% chance of winning should that happen. Right? So if Schlimp's bans Token Druid, which is what I expect he'll do, it gives him the best chance of winning at 46.7%. And Blood Hunter bans Cube Hunter, which is also what I expect, then Blood Hunter will have a 50% chance. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was looking over the decks and what they're bringing and what they're trying to do, and I think that the best that I mean, the data doesn't lie, right? Blood Hunter is pretty favored overall, but he has that big spell mage deck, and it has to beat one of the decks in a control killer lineup. I think
Yeah.
that if Slimsh can play a big spell Mage Mirror where he wins, he can actually put himself in a pretty good position. Now, having to win 3 games against one deck can be difficult no matter what the matchups are. But
Oh,
if
yeah.
he can win a big spell Mage Mirror, I think he can put himself in a pretty good position to just beat up on that big spell mage for the whole match. So I think he's got a chance.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's look at I'm having trouble finding Blood Hunter on the in the game client here, but I'm gonna pull up Blood Hunter's decks. Let's look at their big spell mages and see if one of them might be favored over the other. Blood Hunters looks fairly standard. He's got one Ooze, Skulking Geist. He does have the Sindragosa, Alexstrasza, and Dragon Caller Alana, the Lich King, the Baron Geddon.
Seeing a 1 card difference, I think.
Yeah, Arcane Keysmith. I mean, pretty much as standard as it gets. Slimps. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, about 1 card different. Slimps loves the Oozes. I noticed we casted him last week, and he had a couple of Oozes in some of his decks there as well.
And there are a lot of decks that rely on powerful weapons that are pretty good right now. But it's interesting. He takes out the Alexstrasza, so he's got, his deck's a little bit less threat dense.
Yep. Yeah. And unfortunately for him this week, there's no weapons unless there's a Lich King from the big spell mage that pulls one. There's no weapons to find a target for those 2 Oozes that he has.
That's very true.
A 3-mana 3/3 is not a bad tempo play against aggro, so it might help him a little bit here and there in the Token Druid and Zoo Warlock matchups, but he's going to be at a disadvantage against that big spell mage without having Alexstrasza in hand, I think.
When you go into Mysterious Challenger League now, because I know that it got rehauled after I played in it, do you know your opponent's classes before you know their deck lists, or do you just know nothing and then know everything?
No, what happens is you submit your deck list by codes on Sunday night by midnight. And then at Monday at some time, they'll post the matchups and everybody's deck codes. So by Monday night, you know who they're playing and exactly what decks they have.
But before you pick your decks, you don't know anything at all.
Yeah, right, exactly. You don't know who you're playing. You don't know what decks you're playing against. You know nothing.
So I could see picking 2 Oozes going in blind then.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It's just like he's entering a tournament or something, right?
Right.
So certainly I could see bringing that. You might face the Twig Druid and Cube Warlock and all that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, I was just looking at this and thinking, like, trying to get into the head of Slimsh, like why he would choose to bring that. And if he saw these classes, maybe he's thinking about Cube Warlock and Malygos Druid and, I don't know, Aluneth or the Frostmourne or what have you, and thinks that would be worth it. But if he doesn't see them, then I guess it's just...
Yeah. And just to take this to the next level, it just occurred to me that even though technically they don't know who they're playing and whatnot, these guys probably figured out that they would be playing each other if you think about it. They're both 4-0, and the way that MCL works is you get matched up with people of similar rank, and they're pretty much the only 4-0 guys. So they may have figured out that they were playing each other, and they might have been able to look at what each other played on stream last week, or what they brought, because they can access the deck codes from last week, and might have planned accordingly. So I wonder if maybe Slimps noticed that Blood Hunter was bringing some weapon decks last week and might have queued up like that or something like that, and then Blood Hunter decided to switch it up because he was worried about that. There could be those kind of things going on.
Yeah, you think he just got a little mind gamed into bringing something suboptimal?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he just brought whatever the heck he wanted and let the chips fall where they may. Who knows?
Have we heard from Bloodhunter yet?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard from Bloodhunter. I've been messaging him. It looks like he's online. You know where it shows that they're in the app? It says he's away for 1 minute, but he's not responding.
Okay, that's good.
Well, it's
haven't even
semi-good.
gone that far. At least he's here.
Yeah, I think he's here. Schlimps is here. He's ready to go. He's going to get queued up as soon as they can. And what I don't want is for this to go on, longer than 10 minutes. Well, let me check the sound. Suzuru. Oh, okay. Yeah, they should be able to hear you by now.
It sounds like I can be heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you okay? You listened in on it. All right, good.
I had a friend do it, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works too. So what else do we got here? We already went over the matchups, but we could take another look at that. When you look at Schlimps's table on the top left, right? As you mentioned, it could come down to the Big Spell Mage mirror. So if you're Schlimps, do you just open with the Big Spell Mage and play that until you lose the whole match and hope you can get a reverse sweep, or some other approach?
If you're Slimsh, and so Bloodhunter has Shudderwalk, Heal Zoo, Token Druid, and Big Spell Mage. Assuming you're banning the Token Druid, you don't really want to queue the Mage into the Shudderwalk because your other decks can also beat that. So I don't know if you would.
But see, the thing is, yeah, but
I think you probably open Death Rattle Hunter if it's not banned.
Right, but let's say it is banned, right? Okay, so your Miracle Rogue has one favorable matchup also. If you queue that and Big Spell gets a win, now your Big Spell Mage is at a disadvantage, although it could still win against Zoo Warlock. But, I mean, if you think about it, right? Schlimps has one favorable matchup on paper for his Miracle Rogue, right? So maybe he opens with that and just lets these other decks get a win. I mean, but you know what? He could play that game with all of his decks, right?
Yeah, it's kind of not like a rock paper scissors, but it's your
pick your poison kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know what though? If he gets super lucky, right, and opens, he could open randomly, right? But if he opens, and he may open Big Spell Mage because it kind of has two almost favorable matchups. But if Bloodhunter open, I mean, let's just like roll the dice. And Schlimps does Rogue, Bloodhunter does Shudderwalk, and it plays out as expected, and Schlimps wins. Wow, now he's got his Rogue win. And let's say he goes Priest next, and coincidentally, Bloodhunter goes Zoo, and you know what I mean? Like, but Schlimps has to get lucky for those numbers to line up like that.
I think if it were me, and I am one of the least lucky people in the world, so I try to rely on that as little as possible. I think I would open with my Priest, and because it's got the closest to 50% across the board, assuming Cube Hunter's banned, and see what my opponent opens with there, and hope to take a 50-50-ish matchup, and then have a better idea of what my opponent's going to do for the rest of the matchup.
Yeah. I think that's a viable approach, definitely. Looking at it from Bloodhunter's perspective, I might try to just, I might look at that. That's a good approach. I would consider that. I would consider that Bloodhunter may open with his Shaman, just because it has the most favorable matchups for him. Once I've banned out that Cube Hunter. And so I might try to guess that that's what he's going to do, and in which case I would open with my Miracle Rogue. And the other side of that is that if I open with my Miracle Rogue and I'm right, then I get my best matchup with my worst deck. If I'm wrong, and let's say he opens up a zoo, well, the zoo slips by. Now I've lost 2 favorable matchups that I could have opened with another deck, so that's a downside. But if I just keep on going with Rogue, eventually I'm going to hit that Shaman. And then I can get my win with my Rogue, and then try to reverse sweep from there or something like that. I mean, you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't, but that's another way to go about it.
That's definitely true. Another thing Slimsh has going for them is that no matter what deck he picks, all of his decks are ones where the unfavorable matchups aren't so they're not very unfavored, right? They're kind of, you have a chance to win them.
Right.
So
right. Even though it looks red on this chart, I mean, we're talking about 48%, 45%. You know, it's almost a coin flip.
And Miracle Rogue can just pick up an early Edwin or draw 3 spiders, or
Yep.
you know, they're
Absolutely.
all a little bit. So you can definitely go with that kind of a strategy, the risk versus reward thing.
Yeah. So it looks like Blood Hunter is getting on now, and they're going to start getting queued up. What we're going to do while they do that is I'm going to go grab a quick drink and play a little bit of music while they get their bands together. How about that?
Works for me.
All right.
I could use water.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
All right, we are back. Are you still with us, Shizuru?
Absolutely. I'm with us, and I have bands.
Excellent. You wanna let me make sure that I have all the mics on and the sound going. Yep, I think we do. You want to let us know what they banned?
So Slimsh banned Druid, and I keep getting this guy's name wrong. Blood Hunter. Banned Hunter.
Okay.
As the name suggests.
Yeah. So that's about what we expected. And with those bans in place, it's the best scenario for each player, and Blood Hunter has a, on paper, 57% chance of winning this match, giving Schlimps a 47%, or not sure how the math works out on that, but about a 47% chance to win as well. So, not looking good for Schlimps, but 47 is still almost a coin toss, and Schlimps is a great player. So let's tune in and get these guys queued up and playing. And we'll see how this goes. We're gonna have Schlimps on the bottom, by the way, and Blood Hunter will be on the top.
Great. Just getting in. They're just getting their last little bit together now, and they're queuing up.
So if you're Schlimps, what do you? We already talked about what Schlimps would open with. What do you think Blood Hunter may start with?
I think the only thing that he shouldn't start with is Mage. You can argue for Shaman or for Zoo, depending on how hard you want to read.
Yeah.
You know, you have the level 0 that you talked about, where my opponent wants, or I want to play Shudderwalk because it's got the best percentages opening up. But if he goes to the level 1, where my opponent might open Rogue because he expects me to open Shudderwalk, then he could open Zoo. Then
I could make the argument even for Mage, just from the standpoint of he has favorable matchups across the board. There's no unfavorable. Oh, and they're in. So we have Schlimps opening up with Rogue, and the full keep with Blood Hunter on the big Mage. And he's got Jaina in hand. He's got Doomsayer, Meteor, and Jaina. Not sure if he kept that, or if he still has to. No, okay. So he threw away Jaina against Rogue. Okay, he wants to get off to a good start. He did have the Doomsayer already, though. Throws away Jaina. Ends up with a pretty decent hand overall.
I do think that Jaina pitch is interesting, because he does want it eventually, and he did have some early game tools.
Yeah. Well, he knows
maybe
what
he's just worried about one of those excellent starts that Rogue is capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Slimsh might have it. You know, if he can. I'm curious to see how in on this Van Cleef that he has, he's going to end up wanting to go.
Yeah, let's see. I think he does have the prep already. He's got the coin. He could clear board and play the Edwin now, and Blood Hunter would not have a chance to polymorph. Unless he has a Frostbolt in hand, he couldn't do anything about it. And I doubt he even runs Frostbolt.
I can tell you, we have deck lists.
I don't know a big spell mage out there that does, so...
He does not. That is a small spell.
Yeah. So Schlimps is going to play it cool.
Taking it easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. He could have gotten in there. It would have gotten in a couple of hits before any answer was possible. Of course, there's Doomsayers and there's
right. I think he could have survived a Doomsayer though. He has a Cold Blood in hand.
Oh no, the Edwin would have been. I think he could have made it an 8/8 if he wanted to.
Prep
1, 2,
Fan
3, 4.
Coin,
Prep Fan
Edwin.
coin.
Yeah, it would have been an 8/8. I don't
That's
know.
a lot of damage to say no to.
Yeah, I feel like you should have done it.
I don't know. I mean,
of course, I'm probably
got to
wrong.
figure out
If
where
you
his
think
head
about
is.
it, yeah. If you think about it, like let's say he did it, right? And now Blood Hunter, let's say he Doomsayers, right? Saving himself 8 damage. That gets him Well, that only gets him to turn 3. He still can't polymorph it. So he would end up taking 8 to the face before polymorph gets on board.
But you're using the coin, you're using the prep. The fan's not really
Yeah.
a resource you're worried about, but the prep can be. Do we know? Is this a sprint list? No, it's a gadgetson list. So
Yeah.
he really doesn't want to be using those spells too soon. He wants to be,
I guess so, but
maybe
the
trying to
Edwin,
build a board of
yeah.
spiders is his plan.
The Edwin becomes less and less valuable as time goes on. So
Oh, absolutely. It's probably just going to eat the removal spell at that point. But maybe Slimsh is okay with that, and he's going to play it in a sort of way that doesn't use too many extra resources.
I guess so.
He
may be going for the Edwin
coin.
here. He's going to test for the spell. He's going to test for the minion.
So that coin was just a counterspell test.
Right. Well, it was a counterspell test, and then the Firefly tested for the minion spell. In this case, it was an explosive runes. He gets the backstab out, and he's happy just throwing down an 8/8 Edwin at this point. No need to, prep of, whatever. He wouldn't have had anything to do it. But see, now the polymorph is online. So while he was able to combo and get the Edwin online with something that was effective, removal and testing for the secrets, now it's gone. But he gets a great draw right there.
Yeah, so now he's kind of reliant on the top of his deck to look for threats, but the Miracle Rogue deck has a lot of high tempo threats in it, so maybe he's just comfortable with that.
Yep.
And that polymorph's out of the way. That Edwin didn't really cost him that much. He committed the coin, but that also tested for the counterspell for him.
And if you look at it, he has 14 damage in hand.
Yeah, and Bloodhunter pitched Jaina, and we're not seeing any Artificers, so he's not going to be able to heal up anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's not looking like Schlimps is going to be able to chip in any damage anytime soon either.
Well, we have a lot of taunt minions and removal in our future.
And the mage is already up there in the 6-7 mana range, so he'll be able to get his things online and make it tough for Schlimps here going forward. So Schlimps just has to, by this time, he's not going to want to stab this, obviously.
He
so it's probably just a shiv to the face and see what he's got going here. That's nice. See what he does with it.
Do you think he holds it for burst, or do you think he commits it for 6 damage right now? I don't know if he gets another chance to do 6 damage with an Eviscerate.
Don't know why it would be. He's gonna sap the.
Oh,
wow.
I almost can't believe this. Is he going in on the Cold Bloods? No, he just.
Well, he
just
knows
wants
he has
his
the
opponent.
Eviscerate, so maybe he's thinking, prep, Evis, Leroy, Cold Blood, next turn, lethal.
And his opponent, he's hoping his opponent just commits the Stonehill again with nothing else.
That's brilliant. But the thing is,
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. But the thing is, he already saw his opponent take another taunt off the Stonehill the first time, right? So.
And what's he gonna take?
Right. Exactly.
But maybe he's thinking his opponent took something small and he's going to commit either that or the Stonehill. But then he gets a second pick. It's a little bit flawed, I think.
But if he takes something small, then his opponent plays 2 small taunts, and he can't just Evis a taunt away and go face. Now he's got 2 taunts in a way, so.
He still does have the opportunity to connect for 14 at that point. Maybe he's just hoping to draw.
He's got the Leroy Cold Blood. That would be 10, 14 plus a 4, 5. He's 1 off lethal right now.
No, yeah, wow, he is. So if he just
He might be thinking about going for it because he knows his opponent has 2 taunts in hand, and he's not going to. So
is there any reason not to play the Fireflies there? What do you think he's thinking about?
I don't know. I think I would have played at least one of them. Activators for Valspine so he can go face. But see, now by waiting, Like, he could have set his opponent at 1. Unfortunately, that kind of declares his hand and gives away the secrets.
And he's, on a percentage top deck for Eviscerate to win the
Right.
game or something like that.
Yeah, but now he's going to have to somehow try to get through these taunts. And little does he know. I mean, he just gave his opponent an extra taunt from the Stonehill. But see, here's the thing. He's already unfavored. He went for the calculated risk. I don't think
that
it's
extra
gonna pay off
taunt is
in this.
huge too. The
Yeah.
the
But now
apple
he's-
bomb, if he ever goes for the lethal now, is just gonna be a big roadblock.
And now he just used the Abyss that he could have used on the same Stonehill earlier. And now he uses it on the Stonehill now.
It's interesting because you could just sap the next thing that he plays, right?
Right. Yeah, I think
So he was holding it to commit for face damage. Then he was hoping to top deck more damage so that he could use the Eviscerate on the face, maybe.
Well, that's what he was hoping, but I think when he looks back on this, he's gonna wish that he would have Abyss that first taunt, just knowing that there's another taunt in hand. Now the Lich King's gonna come down, or maybe even an Arcane Artificer and a something, and he's just gonna go out of range.
I think it's not completely over yet, especially not with this Baron Geddon play. What is this?
Well,
this isn't over.
It
Not
clears
after that.
Not after that. And now I might be lethal. No, he doesn't have the Abyss anymore.
14, 15. He's 2 off with sap.
Yeah, well, 2 off is not lethal, and what Bloodhunter has done here is threatened lethal himself.
But he does. He gives Slimsh a chance. If Slimsh goes in on the Leroy here again, he can give himself that Eviscerate top deck that we talked about.
Right. Yeah, but
the sap pickup is actually huge because if Bloodhunter plays like Lich King here, right, and the Baron Geddon deals him 2 damage, and then he wins the game.
Yeah. And Bloodhunter probably figured, okay, this guy would need Leroy and 2 Cold Bloods to even be close, and there's no way he has all that. Well, Slim's is sitting here with the full house.
I can't believe the restraint that he's been showing. Like this Baron Geddon, like he's just allowing himself to take 7 damage so that Bloodhunter takes 2 more. Okay, this is gonna make it a little bit harder for him.
Yeah. Now that's probably game. There's just no coming back from this, I don't think. I mean, all Bloodhunter has to do next turn is ping face and play. I mean, obviously this has to get sapped.
No, if he saps it, he just dies because he can replay it and cast it. He's got a Leroy and kill it and backstab a 1/1.
Yeah.
But that's just a play to survive, probably not a play to win. So.
Well, there's no way he wins from here.
I think we might be looking at game 2.
Yep.
For a couple of turns there, though, it looked like he had a shot at it.
Nah, I think Bloodhunter knew what he was doing on that one.
I mean, the heal up after the Baron Geddon certainly cemented the game.
It cemented it, but I think he knew when he played the Baron Geddon that he was out of range. Even with Leroy and 2 Cold Bloods, he already saw an Abyss. Very slim chance the second Abyss, 2 Cold Bloods, and Leroy were all in hand. So he knew he'd be able to recover the next turn. That was massively done by Bloodhunter, I think, that last sequence. So let me see. Bloodhunter had his Druid Band, is that correct?
Yeah, Bloodhunter had his Druid band and Slimsh had his Hunter band.
Yeah. Okay.
So now we've got a win. Well, this is what we talked about, though. We got the win for the big spell mage. So now what is Slimsh gonna do?
Yeah, and Schlimps did open with the Rogue, which was the calculated gamble. I think if you open with the Rogue, you got to keep playing the Rogue till it gets a win. But he's not going to do that. He's going to go with the Priest here.
Well, I think I like this because the Priest, you're either racing Shutterwalk or I think this was one of his favorite matchups, right? Like he can. Mind Blast Priest was ahead against Zoo on your chart, right?
Yeah, let me double check that. I was just updating the bands here real quick.
Control Priest at a 60%.
Yeah, so his Priest is at a 60%. Yeah, against the Zoo. So that he cues
And if he
into a
plays
favorable
Shaman, it's a
matchup
pretty.
here.
Like he's just looking to win this matchup so that his opponent has less options moving forward. And what do we have? We have kind of a slow opener for the Zoo Warlock, right? That was 2 life taps. Do you think that he's doing that on purpose to conserve against the possible Dustbreaker, or?
I miss what his opening couple of hands were. He was probably hoping, to get one of the Happy Zools and some of that stuff going. But now he does have some of his early minions online, and Schlimps is forced to thaw an Acolyte of Plane while at the same time there is a Flame Imp out there. Not what you want to be doing, but he knows he's probably going to go Dustbreaker next turn. So might as well draw a card in the meantime and save himself 3 damage to the face here.
Do you never play that Twilight Acolyte to just give yourself a 3/4 against only 3 power on the board and maybe not force yourself to commit to the Dustbreaker?
Let me check. Is he running Cabal Shadow Priest? Yeah, he is. So, I mean, ideally, you want to probably use that Twilight Acolyte on something with 4 or 5 attack.
What are you stealing? Like a Fungalmancer buffed minion at that point?
Well, I mean, at least you can knock it down from 5 to 2. So you're saving yourself another 3 attack, or possibly even stealing it on turn 9. But I don't even use the Dustbreaker here because you're looking at 4 damage.
Yeah, that's just not enough, and he's playing against the full hand. Like he can. These are both good players, right? Like Slimsh can tell that Bloodhunter's kind of slow rolling him with these cards a little bit.
Right. Look how many cards Bloodhunter. This is really interesting how he's playing this. But he does give himself the Fungalmancer. And that's going to put all but 1 card out of Dustbreaker turn. So now Schlimps can play the Dustbreaker on the left, should he so desire, and kind of bait Bloodhunter into playing the second. He's going to play the one on the right.
How important is the coin in this matchup?
It's super important because once he gets the Wild Pyromancer online, he can Wild Pyromancer, Northshire, Coin, Divine. He'll be able to draw a whole bunch of cards.
Okay, so that's just a big combo card, so he never wanted to think about using it there. It's interesting that he played the one that he top decks. Maybe it makes Bloodhunter think he doesn't have the second one in the hand because he just kind of ripped it off the top and played it real fast.
Right, so he's thinking, okay, he didn't play the thing last turn, and now he plays the one off the top. But Bloodhunter's...
What does Bloodhunter think he's holding? Did he keep that Dustbreaker, or did he get it off of the mulligan? Could he think that that's like Anduin or something after a play like that?
No, he probably doesn't know. But, I mean, he's got to think, okay, he played that off the top. That's what you do when you're trying to fool your opponent. So I'm not going to just, get jebaited into that. But
I mean, he's playing as much as he can while also playing around it, right? Like he spent all of his mana on minions, not very high tempo minions. It's interesting that he's committing his healing before trying to set up his Light Warden or his Happy Ghoul instead of playing one of his other 1-drops.
Yeah, that is mighty interesting. That would indicate that he's still holding back a little bit. And Schlimps is able to just play tit for tat and hold back on some of his things. He would love to get that Wild Pyromancer anytime now.
So here's the first chance for Bloodhunter to go really wide if he wants to. So I think we're about to see what he's thinking about.
He might
That's
just
a
play
double
like
happy
one
pickup.
minion plus. He may just play the Life Drinker plus, something else along with it. He doesn't have to go all in just yet, but he does have the Happy Ghouls.
He's
So he
not
could-
playing the Light Warden again. What is he waiting for?
I think he's just trying to see what he's got. He could have played both Happy Ghouls and any other of his one-mana minions. So this is, Bloodhunter is very experienced. He's a very good player. So, I'm kind of learning some here on how to play this zoo matchup versus one of these control decks. He knows that the control priest has clears for days. So he's only going to put out, one or two, 3 threats at a time.
If he keeps doing this, though, eventually the priest doesn't have to clear. It just has the board.
Yeah.
It looks like he keeps trying to set up threats for his Fogomancer, right? Like he keeps playing 2 to 3 minions and trying not to overcommit into the clears. But now he plays this chain gang, and you can just.
But see, now he has seen both Dustbreakers, right? If he would have played everything last turn, he would have lost everything this turn, right? Now
absolutely.
Now he's officially seen both Dustbreakers. So he knows his opponent's out. He knows he's got a Primordial Drake, so this Light Warden is in danger, but you got to play it sometime. Man, but Schlimps
how does this Primordial Drake line up?
It lines up pretty good. You hate to do it right now, though, but Schlimps would love to draw into a Wild Pyromancer here. He's just going to draw a bunch of cards. He's going to draw a whole bunch of cards.
Oh, but does he know he's healing the Light Warden? You think he's committing his Shadow Over Death here?
I think he has to. You don't want to Twilight Acolyte with the Cabal in hand. So I think he's going to have to death this.
Does he have the dragon? He could consider Twilight Acolyting, and then if Schlimps doesn't heal or trade, he could steal it.
Yeah, he could. He could even Primordial Drake it next turn. But I think you just death it, because if he Twilights it, it's not going to be a 2-attack next turn, because there's going to be heal used. Going to heal up to 30 here. He could have Shadow Visions that turn, but Shadow Visions is also
What is he looking for? Mind Blast?
He doesn't know yet. It's nice to use with Wild Pyromancer. He can, get another Power Word Shield or Divine Hymn and draw a bunch more cards. But at that stage of the game, he may be looking, like you said, for the Mind Blast at that point.
So he doesn't know, so he didn't cast it, so he just healed.
Right. Yep. And there was no reason to. Healing is fine.
Wow. This Cleric turn is looking. Oh, he left those up? That's a bold move.
They are out of range as far as he knows.
It does allow Schlimps to dictate the trades there, though. So he loses an extra minion into this. But I guess maybe he saw the Spellbreaker and thought, okay, I can push.
I think he figured he better start getting some damage in now, or he's never going to get it. I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's getting more and more difficult for Bloodhunter to get a dangerous board that's going to scare Schlimps.
He is certainly trying. He's picked up the Leroy. He's pushing damage with the Silence. He's now finally playing that second Happy Ghoul. He's got a 10-mana turn next turn to follow up that cute combo with the Dreadlord and the Leroy to kill the 1/1s if he's not immediately winning the game. Do you think Schlimps is thinking about his Psychic Scream right now, or is he just looking...
He's going to Visions first, maybe see, let's see...
Now he knows what he's visionsing for, apparently.
Yep. He's going to go with the Divine Hymn, save it for later, and probably just Scream this. Okay. Maybe not. He's going to... fight on against this. I guess with him in place, he can trade and put himself well out of range and continue to fight on board and save that psychic scream for when he actually needs it. He hasn't.
The decks are running out. Is he not using that because he's thinking about fatigue? I don't think so, right? Like the priest just always can end the game before then, right?
Usually. That is a good point, though. The Blood Hunter's down to 6 cards. He has 10. So if he can fight for board at this point and not Psychic Scream, it is definitely to your advantage. He is at full health. Blood Hunter's at 14. He's got a Mind Blast in place. He's one Anduin away from lethal, almost.
Oh, wow. Bloodhunter didn't go for the Leroy Dreadlord. He drew a card and decided that he was going to take it, continue to take it slow.
And I apologize for the viewers. I think somebody may have just picked up my my Kindle at the other side of the house because I'm showing that it just logged in from another location. Let me get back online here. This is a crucial moment as well. Can you tell us what's going on in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. So the game is ending is what's going on. He just found the second Mind Blast off of his Shadow Vision, dealt 14.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're going to be moving into game 3 at a 1-1.
Okay.
Both players picking up their favorite matchups. Match moving along at a brisk pace. We're looking at so now we have a win for Mind Blast Priest from Schlimsch and a win. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name. And a win from Big Spell Mage for Blood Hunter. So we have Zoo and Shutterwalk, and Rogue and Big Spell Mage is the options. And it looks like they're already moving into the third game.
Okay, and I'm back online here. I'm going to put myself on mute and run upstairs and grab the Kindle before we have any more mistakes. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, we've got the mulligans for coming up for Big Spell Mage. It looks like Slimsh went with, and we're run the Zoo back. So this is another matchup where Slimsh probably has a decent chance, at least, of winning it. Going to check. Big Spell Mage favored against Zoo. And the mulligans, we've got a Keleseth opener, and he's coining it out. He is 2-drop into double 1-drop. He is going in. All that restraint, he used it all up in the last game, and decided this time this hand can be aggressive. He's probably trying to get in underneath big AoEs like Dragon's Fury, which he now knows his opponent has. They just played the Raven Caller, so but he's still going in against it. So he's just going to try to push as much damage as he can before turn 5. Slimsh is, on the other hand, has his Doomsayer, he has his Arcane Artificer, he has the Stonehill Defender. I wouldn't be surprised to see this Doomsayer just gain 7 life. I also could see the Stonehill Defender come down because it gains him 6, gives him more options for next turn. And we've got 3 options to pick from here. They're all looking pretty similar. Obviously, I think you take the Defender over the Patriarch, but maybe he wants to play the Shieldmaster on curve to line up against his opponent's 3 health minions, but apparently not. He just wants the defensive resources to keep stacking in his hand.
Yeah, and you can notice that Blood Hunter's playing this game a lot different than the last one. He's like trying to go all in as fast as he can, like you said, before that Dragon's Fury comes down.
Yeah, and he knows about it too. Welcome back, by the way.
It's looking mighty rough for Schlimps at this point.
He's staring down a big board, but he's only got 1 turn before that Dragon's Fury, and he's got multiple taunts in his hand. His Stonehill Defender gave him a Stonehill Defender, so he's got a bunch of life gain. He can. I'm honestly even a little bit surprised that he's playing this Doomsayer because he could protect it with the Defender later on in the game if he wanted to. But
that's much further down the road. This heals him for 7 and takes out the 3 with the ping. So I like this play. It can be silenced.
Yeah, this is definitely a life total conscious play.
Oh, he's gonna
and
Void
certainly
Ripper.
not a bad
Okay.
one.
Mhm.
But
Gonna make him use the Dragon's Fury, I guess.
that's interesting. I wonder why he did. Yeah, I guess he's forcing the Dragon's Fury now because he
Mhm.
knows he needs to get it out of the hand at some point,
Yeah.
and his opponent. But would Slimsh not play it to clear 8 damage at 19?
No, it would have. The Doomsayer would have went off.
Oh,
Sh-
true.
Yeah. So
Well, he
Slimsh
could have
would've
traded
been-
into the Doomsayer. So he's just
Yeah,
pushing
it's
damage.
gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking to push that damage. His window is quickly closing, though.
Yeah, that second Dragon's Fury pickup is huge, and he even has the option to gain 5 life with it if he wants to, but he might not even need to do that. He could be even greedier with his life gain if he wants to at this point.
Yeah, he can definitely hold off on the Artificer, knowing he's got 2 Flame Strikes in hand. And this is nuts.
Well, he's decided to play it as safe as he possibly can, and I don't blame him for that.
I blame him for it. There's no reason for that. Well, I mean, what? I guess if the what's the 5-mana demon comes out with 7 health, I guess if that comes out, he could be in
Doomguard?
trouble. Yeah,
Yeah, I think the thing is, how do you lose? And I think you lose if you take a bunch of damage before you can get to your turns where you're playing these flame strikes with
Yeah.
additional threats, and then
I guess-
your Warlock opponent draws
Yeah.
Leroy Soulfire and kills you.
Mhm. I guess I was looking too hard at those Flame Strikes and saying, well, he's got a Flame Strike the next turn, and then he can Artificer and Flame Strike. But you're right. If he would have played a Doomsayer, he'd be taking 10 to the face before he got a chance to Artificer. So, okay.
And I like that it's consistent.
Mhm.
Playing the Doomsayer on the turn that he did was conscious of his life total. Him playing the
Yeah.
Artificer there was conscious of his life total. He thinks if I live, I win.
He's got some great secrets here to pick from, and I'd go for the Barrier or the Vaporize. What do you do?
He went for the barrier again.
Yeah.
Life total.
Right.
He's got enough tools to control the board in his hand. The second Stonehill giving him an Apple Bomb was pretty crucial. He can maybe even force more commitment into these flame strikes if he wants to, which he doesn't even have to do because he has both of them. Excuse me.
And with the Prince Kaliseth buffing up these minions, it really makes it tough to clear everything, but he's going to be able to, should he so choose.
Yeah, the Kaliseth is forcing this trade that we're about to see right here, but crucially, not too many of the minions that that Bloodhunter has drawn have had the life total be above 4 from the buff. And I guess not too many in the deck. His deck isn't running Doomguard, actually, so he doesn't have a lot of ways to fight for the board. He
doesn't have
Fungal
Doomguard?
Mancer.
Oh, he's just doing the Leroys and the Fungalmancers? Well,
Yeah,
then
the face
again,
is the
I'll have to
place.
question that Artificer on the Fiver, because if there's no Doomguards in the deck, he could have just saved that Artificer for the Flame Strike and then kept it on board. But it's half a dozen on one, dozen on the other. I'm liking this
The
Vaporizer.
Leroy lists, I think, are typically a little bit more face-oriented and a little bit more aggressive. You know, the Leroy Soulfire is always 10, where the Doomguard and the Soulfire is sometimes 9, and sometimes you discard your Soulfire and feel real bad. So I being life total conscious from the start of the game means you're never getting to a point where your opponent can draw that, that Life Drinker Soulfire or Leroy Life Drinker Soulfire combo to kill you. So I don't hate it. And I think knowing the deck list, I mean, I would play similarly, but I'm not necessarily as good at the game as these guys are.
That's
And the
a great
second-
silence. And, he saved the silence earlier when he could have silenced the Doomsayer. And that really came in handy here, being able to, take away the ability to heal and the taunt to put all that damage to face. So that really came in handy. Unfortunately for him,
That silence did a ton of damage. This meteor pickup's also huge, though.
Yeah.
Do you think we just see a flame strike again here?
yeah, I think so. No reason not to. You can clear, the whole side of the board there and put 4 damage to face, get a news online. And that meteor was like the last component Schlimsch needed to really be able to deal with anything Bloodhunter can hope to do. He's running short on cards, granted, but
Well, what Bloodhunter's got going for him is the Keleseth buff means this Baron Geddon isn't killing anything ever or coming close to it. He can't even combine it with a ping to kill like a 3/3 or a Void Walker or something. But the Meteor kind of takes care of that. And well, there we go. I was gonna say after the Meteor's gone, he has a chance to stick a board, but apparently not.
yeah, apparently not. And with the second Meteor, I mean, he doesn't have very many cards in hand, so he needs to continue drawing well and get into that Jaina before this game's over. But things are looking pretty slim right now.
Oh, so he knows there's only one Spellbreaker in the deck, and he's seen it, so he can just play this Lich King, and that sets up lethal with the ping. It looks like lights out even.
Yeah. Bloodhunter can't even deal with this Lich King right now, so he's gonna have to tap.
He can Fungalmancer trade and play Dreadlord to kill it.
Oh yes, right.
But that is expensive. I wouldn't be surprised to see a tap from him looking for a Soulfire or something like that.
He can always tap next turn though. He's thinking about it.
But without the Doom cards, again, he can't fight for the board. So even if he kills the Lich King...
But wait a minute, he can't... Can he kill the Lich King? He goes to 6. No, 7. You're right. Yeah. Goes to 7, kills the Lich King, puts these things at 1. He's going to tap. Okay.
That's not a Soulfire.
So I think now we just concede, right?
Yeah. And I think that was smart. I think he had 2 Soulfires in his deck, and his chance to find it gives him a little bit of a chance to fight for the board. Maybe he can stick something for the Fungalmancers. We can see that he can't, but certainly he seems to know which risks he thinks are worth taking. That's respectable.
Yeah, could have gone either way with it. Not sure what I would have done, but I'm sure he did the right thing because
so that's Bloodhunter down against the big spell mage or Slimsh down against the big spell mage, excuse me, and all of a sudden back up 2-1 already. And we thought that the other matchups were going to be the ones where he struggled with, but he's just rolling through the Zoo deck.
That's right. And now all he has to do is find a win with this Miracle Rogue, and he will pull off the upset. And look at that hand. Wow.
He's got another opportunity with this Edwin, and if it doesn't work, this time he's got some spiders.
Yeah. And he doesn't need a huge Edwin in this matchup.
Just big enough to survive some hits from some 3/3s. He mulliganed the Faldore Strider? Do you think he's thinking that he's just trying to go harder on this Edwin and not worry about the follow-up? Or why do you think he mulliganed that?
I have no idea. Well, I mean, I guess the Faldore, like, you never really make it that late in the game against this deck for Faldore to start popping out a bunch of 4/4s, but I don't know about that.
So, maybe he was just looking for his backstabs, his SI7s. Is this the kind of... I gotta look at the deck list. He's got 2 SI7s in here, so maybe he was looking for those, just something to control the board a little bit sooner.
Yep, maybe. Bloodhunter kind of plays around it a little bit by not giving him a good backstab target for that.
And in response, he just doesn't play the backstab.
Yeah, well, wasn't able to do it. But now, that backstab's looking pretty juicy.
And this Edwin's looking pretty juicy.
Yeah.
A board clear, a Flame Elemental, and a 8/8 Edwin?
I think that's pretty
nice. Sign me up.
Yeah, sign me up. He won't be able to proc his Elven Minstrel for quite some time, should he do that. So, looks like he's going to...
for the Minstrel.
Yeah, I don't mind this, because he would not have been able to Minstrel...
Well, Faldore is back. He wanted a piece of the game. He wanted to come out on curve. Slim said no, but...
So now that Edwin's going to have to wait, because...
And this isn't even a great tempo play from the Zoo deck again. Slim's just ahead, right?
For now. That Faldore is kind of nice, but The Zoo's going to get a nice value trade here. And he's got some other options as well with the Soulfire and the Tar Creeper and the Fungal Enchanters and all that stuff in hand.
Okay, so he was able to take some tempo back on the board, and now he's got some good stuff going into a potential Fungalmancer turn.
Yeah.
So he set that up pretty well. Showed some good restraint, holding back the Soulfire to instead of killing it the turn before, just to set up the value trade and kind of like take a timing attack against the Rogue. Put a lot of tempo in play right at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So now Schlimps can do the same thing he did before with the Elven Minstrel.
I think he's got to start thinking about playing this game a little bit faster. Here we go.
Yeah, perhaps. Just going to put a 4/4 on board. It does contest his 3/3 nicely. He already saw a Fungalmancer get discarded, so he might be thinking, don't worry about that. That's Serenite, though.
Not too worried about the Dreadlord either, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, this could get silence. Yeah, the Dreadlord would be nice right here if he had it.
That Serenite, crucially good against the sap we're seeing from Slimsh.
Mm-hmm. He's already seen one sap.
He's just been slapped around.
Okay, just gonna play on curve, get 6 mana out there, and go to the face.
Sets up minions on board that don't die, so he can buff with his Fungalmancer. But we have a Spider. We have a chance at another one with this Shiv if we want it. Conveniently clean against the Tar Creeper.
Yeah, and that's a nice early Spider too, considering he just played the Faldori, I think, like a couple turns ago. He's got 2 spells in hand. Gadgetzan's a couple turns away. You kind of want to sap this, but he could decide to deal with it. I don't know. I mean, he's got the 2 SI7 agents. Yeah. Okay.
So he's just looking for more resources and taking it slow.
Yeah, and getting the value trade too, which is really important here.
This is nice because it gets the minions out of your deck, so you're more likely to get spiders off of your Shiv.
Right. Yep. The spiders and spells for the Gadgetzan.
Also true.
Mm-hmm. He's seen 1 backstab. Other than that, no preps, no cold bloods. So he's got a lot of low-cost spells to go. And I think once he gets this gadget online, he may end up with a huge gadget turn at some point.
And now, once again, we're staring at a board where Bloodhunter is just trying to set up for this Fungalmancer. Mm-hmm. He keeps being left with 1 minion and not wanting to inefficiently use the buff just for a little bit of board control. And he's got to be thinking, but he's seen both saps now, so maybe
he has all kinds of taunts in hand, so he could just build a wall here, try to make Schlimps pay for it. Yep. So Schlimps can get some nice things going here. With the 4/1 easily into the, he could Shiv into the 3/5 or could get his Gadgetzan online. I think it's still a little bit early for that. But definitely that Vilespine could find some nice targets at this point.
Vilespine on a 3/5, I don't hate.
Yeah.
And we're just ahead on the board again.
I think, with the 4/1 out there, he's going to keep it alive, so that's nice. He could have, I was thinking, get his weapon online and use the SI on the 3/5 and trade in his 4/1, but this is probably better.
Again and again, Slimsh just played very slow, value-oriented turns. And wow, the concede!
Wow!
I was going to say, it still managed to get ahead on board, but apparently Bloodhunter agrees with me.
I guess once that wall was torn down, Bloodhunter just felt that he would never be able to gain a foothold against the Rogue. And you know what? He was probably right, but I was surprised to see the concede, because how did he know he was right?
That's true. And is that it?
That's it.
Yeah, that's that looks like an early concession to me, but it was pretty close to over. So
right. I mean, he was right. I just don't know how he knew that he was right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. There's always those like little outs that maybe you can get, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he wasn't feeling it. Maybe he knows something we don't. Probably he knows something we don't.
He probably does. At 4-0, well, 4-1 now, and certainly a lot of success on ladder and on the tournament scene. You know, Blood Hunter certainly knows a lot about this game and saw the writing on the wall, went ahead and checked out. Now, do you want to see if we can get Schlimpson here for a interview?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's see if he's available.
Messaging him now.
Okay.
So unfortunately, he recently had jaw surgery and can't speak.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He says he could answer a question or two, but I don't know. Is that?
Yeah. Well, I do want to ask him a question or two. I'm
Says he
gonna
could, like,
ask
text
him.
the spot.
Yeah. Here we go. Let me see here. I want to see if he was surprised by that early concede. And anything you want to ask him?
No, I'm overall. I think that's fine. I don't want to keep him here too long if he's recovering from something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Jaw surgery. I've had one of those myself, and you tend to be down for a little while. Maybe that's what his picture was all about there in the bottom right.
Oh yeah, no, he said that he was doing okay though. He just thought it'd be fun to put that one up.
Yeah. So I asked him, were you surprised by that early concede? And his answer is maybe just a little, but he seemed to have poor luck that game. Well, I got something pretty workable for a bad matchup. Seemed like it was time to wrap it up, I guess. I had a lot of cards and most likely bursts.
Oh, I did want to know if he doesn't mind the thought about mulliganing the Faldore in that last match.
Okay. So wait, what was it? Let me see here. What was your thought process in mulliganing away the Faldore? I'm curious about that myself. I always keep the Faldore, but you know, what do I know?
Yeah, good timing. It's
He was on the coin too, right? I guess he had the Edwin in hand, so
he was.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it worked out. He won it, so.
And he did end up drawing the Faldore, and it came in pretty nicely.
And playing it.
Well, he played it, and he got a 4/4 right on time, which was nice.
Yeah, I think the 4/4 came on turn 6, which is pretty early.
So his answer is, versus Zoo, I think I just need as many good things like Backstab, SI, etc. Having Firefly is nice, but being on the coin isn't. Fan, you know, hoping for things like that.
Okay. I could definitely see it. Lots of early board control, like we were discussing. Well, I think I would just say congratulations on, what is that, 5-0 now? How many weeks are in this league?
You know, I'm not sure. I think it just goes on and on. We are taking a break next week because, of course, the expansion's coming out, which we're all excited about. But because it comes out on like Tuesday or whatever, I don't think anybody would have time to provide deck codes on Sunday night. So no MCL next week, but the following week, MCL's back on. So you can hop in anytime. If anybody wants to do it, just get up on the website. You can, you know, find out how to submit, and just come on like next Saturday or Sunday and submit your deck codes, and you'll be all lined up next week.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I played in the previous season of it or what have you, and my short experience with this league, it seems like they just keep making things better and better as it continues to exist. So I'm sure it's even better than when I played in it.
So a couple other things. Actually, it turns out Schlimps was surprised by the hunter ban. He was worried about the zoo and thought banning an unfavorable of zoos might have been a higher percentage. Oh, I see. So yeah, so he's thinking like the zoo was his strongest. Okay. And because my hunter was tech so poorly against all his decks, Bloodhunter brought even luck all 4 weeks. Oh, okay. So Bloodhunter did switch it up. Yeah. Okay.
And they did scout each. Well, at least Lynch scouted. I'm assuming
Yeah.
they both.
I'm assuming they both did. Yeah. All right. So that's the skinny on this match, and that's the skinny on MCL. Schlimp says thanks for everybody out there watching. He hopes you enjoyed the show and the games. Bloodhunter, thank you also for being willing to get streamed here. It was a good game, and continue to have a great season. We look forward to seeing where the rest of this season goes. I'm not sure how long it goes on in total, but it's going to keep going on for a while. I actually forgot to submit this week, so I didn't even know the first week started. I didn't see any announcement, so I missed the first week. I got in for a couple weeks, and I forgot this week, but I can get right back in there, and anybody can. So anytime you're ready to hop on the MCL train and start having some fun, you can do so. I would encourage you to, whether you're old or new to the league, and hopefully, I look forward to seeing everyone out there. Sazuru, any final thoughts as we wrap things up here?
Just looking forward to seeing people play more of this wonderful game. Come do the thing.
Yep.
Come watch the thing.
You psyched for the expansion coming up next week?
Absolutely. It looks I'm a little bit, I don't know, every time an expansion gets released, I get like a little bit more and more worried for people that are new to the game coming in, because I have a lot of friends that I've like convinced to play the game because I'm pretty excited about it.
Mhm.
But for everybody who's kind of been around, like the new cards look like a lot of fun. They look pretty high powered. Looks like the game's going to change a lot, so I'm pretty pumped for that.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to change a lot. It's going to be a lot of crazy stuff going on, and it's going to be really interesting to see. And even for people new, you can always just dial up Whizzle Fizzle Bang, and he's going to give you one of his fabulous decks, and you can play with that at least, right?
Yeah, that was a really cool card design choice from Blizzard.
Yeah.
They got some things right.
Yeah. It's going to be the deck recipes from that guy, so they probably won't be like super overpowered decks. And we are looking at it, and I'm the director for the Department of League Administration, so we're considering what to do about Whizzle Fizzle Bang, whether we should just ban it outright or what have you. It'll probably just get banned, at least initially, till we get a good feel of the decks, because, in THL, you pick what classes, and Whizzle Fizzle Bang just plays a random class, so we're not sure if that's going to be a good thing. On the other hand, he's probably not going to have competitive decks, so if you bring him, you're probably going to lose anyways, so,
I think the only thing that you need to you need to be able to account for people like trying to cheat with it, right? And I think that the system that you guys have in place for deck selection and stuff with the screenshots and all that is going to do that. So I don't know how much of a problem Fizzle Bang will be. And like you said, it's not very competitive. So somebody who's bringing it isn't. The intentions don't line up, right? Like if you're trying to cheat to win Hearthstone games and you're putting Fizzle Bang in your deck, you're not trying to win Hearthstone games. So what are you doing?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's not really cheating if you're playing suboptimal decks, which is probably what Whizzle Fizzle Bang decks are.
Right. The idea is like exactly. So you'd be forced to play some suboptimal deck. It's not like you could like bring a Warlock deck and queue it and be like, oh, Fizzlebang made me bring Warlock. So since you can't do that, I don't think it's really a kind of a concern.
Maybe if we could have it where people could declare that I'm bringing a Fizzlebang deck. You know what I mean? That could be a thing. But I've looked at the deck recipes because they're live now. You can go in there and make a deck. You can make the deck recipes now. You just won't have the cards to play it. And the decks, for the most part, look kind of weak, just like all the other deck recipes. So there's like one or two of them, maybe 3 or 4 that I thought were semi-competitive. But all the rest of the Whistle Fizzlebang decks looked weak. So if somebody declared a Whistle Fizzlebang class, so to speak, and wanted to play that down the road, probably not next season, but down the road, we might just allow it because probably going to lose anyways.
I think it's fun. And I think you could... I think even just like a Fizzlebang only tournament would be something that could be kind of fun and interesting too, just to like see the deck recipe decks play against each other.
I think that's gonna happen at some point. If we don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it. I actually was kind of hoping we'd do a week of MCL instead of skipping a week. We just do a Whistle Fizzlebang week, but the logistics of that were a little bit too difficult to set up on short notice, so we're just gonna skip a week. But yeah, definitely a Whistle Fizzlebang tournament. It's gonna happen.
Next time they print Fizzlebang, you guys can be on top of it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, yep, we're gonna wrap it up here, folks. Appreciate you all turning in. Hope you enjoyed the match and the show. Any parting thoughts, Zuru?
Thanks for having me to cast. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was good having you.
Come do it again sometime.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed casting with you. All right, so until next time, we're going to sign off. Everybody have a great night. We're out.